Hello and welcome to the Project Rich Mum podcast, the space for women looking to take control of their financial future. We're going to be taking a look at everything money and mindset. So we look at budgeting and savings, investing and increasing your income. We're also going to be taking a look at the psychology behind the belief and the mindset that you have around whether you can actually achieve that. So this episode is going to be just a brief introduction to me for those of you that are stumbling across this for the first time. My name is Gemma and I started the Project Rich Mum YouTube channel coming up to 2 years ago. Well, it'll be 2 years at the very beginning of 2024. And it was really just a space for me to document my journey as a single parent trying to take control of my financial future. There are certain things that I wanted to achieve, one of which being to buy a house. It was very, very clear that by working a traditional 9-to-5 job, that I was never going to achieve that goal on my own without something significant like a lottery win or some surprise inheritance from a long-lost relative, neither of which are very likely to happen. And so I really started to focus on, first of all, the money that I was already getting in and how to budget and save that efficiently, and then to create multiple streams of revenue. And the goal was to make them as passive as possible. And what I realized in documenting my journey was that there are so many women all across the world who are also trying to achieve the exact same thing. And that has been so motivating for me to hear other women's stories. When I started Project Rich Mum, I didn't tell a single person outside of my household. My kids knew that I was doing it, but I didn't tell anybody else. And the reason was that I come from a very working class family. Low income, always lived month to month. Things are very tight and things are very traditional. And so saying to my family and my friends, hey, I'm going to try and make some money online and I'm going to have different streams of revenue, different money coming in from different sources every month, they would have laughed in my face and told me I was being ridiculous, quite frankly. Not because they didn't want me to succeed or they didn't want me to grow, but because it's just not something that people do where I'm from. And so I kept it to myself and I thought, when I can make money from it, then I can start telling people. Now, I was lucky enough on YouTube to have a video that blew up a couple of months into starting the channel, and that pushed me over the line to be able to monetize that channel. And since then, we have grown a really wonderful community of mostly women. We do have some guys over there, but it's mostly women who are really trying to achieve similar goals. They want to be able to financially take care of themselves, of their families. They want to be the ones to break that generational cycle, to be the ones that are able to make sure that their kids have a really good financial start when they hit adulthood. If you are listening to this and you can relate with any of this, you can go and check out some of those videos on YouTube where I do go into detail in terms of budgeting and my savings strategies. I talk about how I make money online. We also have a Facebook group that we are just building. It's very new, so please do go over and join that if you are looking for a safe space for you to talk about money and finances and to be encouraged and inspired by other women. So with this podcast, I really want to talk more about money mindset and those beliefs that we have. Like I said, I come from a very, very working class family, very traditional. So there are a lot of beliefs that are passed down from one generation to the next, which I'm sure if you go back several generations, those beliefs probably served them well. It was the difference between them being able to feed their kids from week to week. Whereas now, the world is different. And a lot of those beliefs can actually really hold you back. And so I've had to spend a really long time going back and unpicking all of those things that have stopped me from chasing after my goals, having belief in myself, in what I'm capable of achieving and also what I believe that I deserve. So we're going to be taking a really in-depth look into a lot of that, because whilst my method has always been the two-pronged attack on your finances, in the case of looking at your budgeting and your savings from the income that you're already making, and then looking for ways to increase your income, I do think that mindset plays an incredibly important role in how far you'll go and what you can achieve. If you want to start your own business, for example, if you want to start YouTube, if you want to write a book, you may have this burning desire inside of you that that's what you want to do. But if your brain is telling you that you can't do that, you can't achieve that, people like you don't have businesses, well, you didn't do very well in your GCSEs, why do you think you can write a book? There are so many different beliefs that you may have deep down in your subconscious that will stop you from ever going after that. And it's nothing to do with your capability. It's nothing to do with your skills. You could be actually an incredibly talented writer, but you'll never get round to writing that book if you're telling yourself that you can't do it. So it's such an important and oftentimes overlooked part of taking control of your finances. So we're going to be dedicating some time over the next few episodes to really looking at ways that you can change your mindset, things that may be holding you back that you don't even realize, so that you can move forward and achieve the things that you really, really want to achieve. So we're also going to be having episodes that will be completely dedicated to methods of budgeting, savings on a lower income, ways that you can incorporate savings challenges into your routine to get you into the habit of saving. We're also going to be taking a look at investment strategies, starting off small. Again, that's going to link in with mindset, with investing, because if you didn't grow up in a household where investments were talked about or were taken advantage of, you may actually have a lot of fear when it comes to investments. So we're going to be taking a look at that, dispelling a lot of those myths and getting you into a place where you feel more comfortable to be able to make decisions on that. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned on my own financial journey is just the importance of movement. How you don't need to be taking huge steps. I mean, sometimes you'll have moments where something really big happens in your finances and you'll feel fantastic. But those baby steps that you take, those little things that you incorporate into your financial habits, those are the things that are going to get you places. It's those tiny little steps over time that you'll look back and realize you've come such a long way. Take the savings challenges, for example. I know for me in the past, when things have been really tight, there have been times when things have been really, really tough for me. And I used to have the mindset of you should be saving £50 a month. And then I'd be thinking, well, I can't save £50 a month, so what's the point? And then I'd end up saving nothing. And so that habit of saving never gets formed. In fact, I actively worked against it, because in my mind, if I wasn't saving, at least £50 a month, what was the point? And of course, the point is that even a small amount, even £5 a month, is going to build up over time. Even that small amount of money gives you a little bit of a cushion. And so take, for example, the savings challenges, the penny savings challenge, where you save 1 pence for every day of the year. So on day 1, you save 1 penny, day 2, 2 pence, day 3, 3 pence, all the way up to day 365, where you put away £3.65 or $3.65, whatever currency you're using. They're actually really, really small amounts. And sometimes it can feel like, well, what's the point? It's a penny here and it's 10 pence there. Like, what am I actually getting from this? There's nothing substantial here. But if you do that, by the end of the year, you will have £667.95, or dollars or euros, whatever you're doing. Now, that is not to be sniffed at. If you started the year with absolutely zero in savings and you end the year with almost 700 in savings, that's far more than you had before, right? It's that snowball effect that you get then. because you start building that habit of putting money away, even really small amounts. And it's that habit forming. And then you have a bit of money put aside. So maybe at Christmas, you don't go into debt to get your kids Christmas presents, which means that when you start the next year, if you were to start that challenge again, you're not paying off Christmas from the year before. So you're putting your pennies away, plus you've got a little bit extra because you're not paying off debt from Christmas. And then you take the money that you would normally be using to pay off your debt from Christmas and you put that towards other debt. Maybe you've got a credit card or a loan that you want to get paid off, and you put that towards paying off that. And then you get that cleared. And then you've got a little bit of extra money. And then you get to the point where you've got no debt. And that's all money then that can be put into savings. The thing is this is a long-term plan. And we're so used to, in this society, of having kind of this instant gratification. And you're not going to get that if you're starting off small. So you really have to be able to think about the future. Think about, where will I be in 12 months' time? Where will I be in 3 years' time? And really use that as your motivation and as your focus. And for me, doing that kind of thing really was the first step in taking control of my finances. And then over time, I've also been able to build up my income, build up multiple streams of income. And whilst I am not where I ultimately want to be, I still have a long way to go. I'm still striving. I am in a far better position now than I was 2 years ago. So I am very, very excited to start this new season. You can expect 1 episode a week of the Project Rich Mom podcast. If you would like to be featured on the podcast, I would love to hear your stories. I will leave all of my contact details listed below. Drop me an email, tell me all about your journey, tell me where you are in the world. Let me know if you have any tips. And there is so much power in sharing your own journey. It is still wild to me when I have somebody reach out to me and say, hey, I've been quietly watching your stuff for the last year. Because of you, I've started this. I've created this book. I'm now earning more money through this. I'm now budgeting better. And that to me is insane, but so incredibly motivating for me as well. Because you never know when you share your story, who's going to take that and who that's going to resonate with and what they're going to do with that information and how you can transform somebody else's life without even realizing. So please do drop me a message and let me know your story. Remember, you can head over to the Facebook group. I will link all of that for you as well. And I will see you next week for episode 2. Take care, guys.